Hello students, today we'll discuss theory of imitation as propounded by Aristotle. Aristotle's concept of imitation is actually an improvement of Plato's theory of imitation. He did not invent the term imitation. The great Greek philosopher Aristotle's teacher Plato was the first to use this term with a reference to poetry. Plato looked at poetry as an act of copy of reality. But Aristotle widened the scope of the term imitation and he interpreted poetry in terms of some creative recreation. So, Aristotle's concept of imitation, which in his Poetics mentioned as mimesis. The Greek term for imitation is mimesis. So the beginning or the seeds of Aristotle's concept just lie deep in Plato's views on poetry. Aristotle refuted Plato's views and he gave his own theoretical explanation about the creation of poetry, and that came or appear in his Poetics in the form of his theory of imitation. So before discussing in detail about Aristotle's concept of imitation, let's try to get an understanding of Plato's idea of imitation. Plato's idea of imitation begins with God's design, God's idea. Plato believed that God has an idea about the creation of the world. That is called divine idea of creation. And this real world is an imitation of that divine idea. And when a poet writes, when a poet produces a poem, it produces a copy of this world. And this world is in itself a copy of divine idea. So in this way, poetry is twice removed from reality. How it is twice removed from reality? Because it is copy of a copy. It is copy of the world and the world is the copy of divine idea. Plato believed that actually as poetry is just an act of mere copying. So this cannot be useful or beneficial for the betterment for an ideal state. So he just regards poetry baneful or harmful for the well-being of society. On the other hand, Aristotle offered a wider scope to the concept of imitation. He defined it in terms of a process of creative recreation. How is it? How it is? Let's try to understand. Actually, the concept of imitation unites poetry and all other fine arts. Art imitates not merely the world, art deals with the very essence of the things. So there is a creative reproduction of the external world in accordance with the artist idea. So in this way, Aristotle believed that poetry is not a copy of a copy or an idea of a shadow, but it is imitation of the ideal reality. The poet is imitating reality, and while imitating reality, he follows the process of selection and rejection. He concentrates upon the nobler aspect of reality, conceals the ugly ones. According to Aristotle, poetry has no place for irrelevant. So, the poet's material is selected, and the chaos of life has to be brought under an order in poetry. So in this way, poetry can never be baneful for society, can never be harmful for society, because it tries to present an order in the society. This imitation or the reproduction of life is combined with the necessity to follow an artistic design, and that artistic design is based on the law of probability and necessity, means what is good and what is necessary and what can happen. So an artist selects and arranges his material on the law of probability and necessity. There is no chaos in poetry. There is no mere copying in poetry. So Aristotle refuted Plato's idea of mere copying, and he explained imitation as imitation of ideal reality, where the material is selected and the things which are not useful, they are rejected. So in this way the imitation is not copying, it comes before us as reproduction of life, reproduction, creative recreation, we can say. Poetic imitation involves the creative faculty of the artist, and out of the confused everyday life, the poet tries to create a work of art which has a permanent value. So thus we can say poetry deals with the universal truth, and which is very philosophical and which can always be beneficial for the well-being or for the betterment of society. So in this way, Aristotle gave a new interpretation, a broader interpretation to the concept of imitation. He outrightly rejected Plato's concept of imitation and explained it with terms of creative recreation. Aristotle's concept of imitation we can just better understand through this flow chart. As I have explained earlier, that this imitation is just creative recreation, means to recreate something, but that recreating, when we are recreating something, when we are creating something again, obviously the imagination, the ideas or the thought of the artist will also get involved. So how it is involved? That the artist is not copying the reality as it is. It is imitating the ideal reality. And how that ideal reality is framed? Through the selection and rejection of the material. And by selecting and rejecting the material, in that presentation of the ideal reality, the poet presents the universal truth. Aristotle looked at that all arts, or especially the fine arts, that art is a mode of imitation. Yet there are differences between the various modes of imitation. So he talks about the medium of imitation, that in every fine art has its own medium. For example, the medium of the poet is rhythm and harmony. The medium of the painter is color and form. So the medium of the poet and the painter are different. But when we look at the medium of the music, we find that there is also rhythm and harmony. So the poetry seems very close to the art of music. Here one thing is to be kept in mind, that Plato equated poetry with the art of painting, where some sort of copying is there. But Aristotle equated poetry with the art of music. Next is object of imitation. While talking about the object of imitation, Aristotle is to say that objects of poetic imitation are men in action. And these men may be either better than or lower than the average man in real life. And poetry is an imitation of human life with its outward as well as inner activity. The poet does not produce a literal copy of the world as he sees it, as he observes it. Students, the landscape or the outward activities of the human beings work as a background to the inner activity of the soul of man. Thus we can say that the inner world of human beings, their thoughts, their emotions, this inner world is very much the object of imitation in poetry because it causes the outer action. So thus we can say that the object of imitation is the man in action. As far as the manner of imitation is concerned, Aristotle talks about two types of poetry on the basis of the different manners. One is narrative poetry, another is dramatic poetry. Thus, Aristotle took the term imitation from Plato and he gave this term a wider significance. He brought out the higher truth involved in poetry. He gave to the term imitation a more precise as well as deeper significance. I will repeat that Aristotle redefined his teacher Plato's concept of poetry with concept of imitation with reference to the art of poetry. Plato was against poetry because poetry is copying. But Aristotle explained or interpreted poetry as an art of creative recreation. And he discussed about the difference between fine arts on the basis of the medium, object and manner. And lastly, Aristotle equated poetry with the art of music. In this way, Aristotle just gave explanation to his theory of imitation, which is the backbone of his concept or his theory of poetry as discussed in his text Poetics. Thank you.